So killer robots are basically weapon systems that can choose a target and fire on that target without any human intervention whatsoever. This is a generation of technology that's beyond drones, where, as everybody knows, there's a lot of concern nowadays about the use of drones in military operations. This goes far beyond that. Mines Action Canada is a co-founder of the campaign Stop Killer Robots, and we have joined that because we learned from our work in Canada and around the world on banning landmines that we should not wait for a global crisis to occur.
That now is the time to act. These weapons are not on the battlefield yet. We have not yet seen the horrors that they will bring about. So it's going to be much easier to deal with the situation now before we have a global catastrophe.
Because once one starts to relinquish human control when it comes to the decision about targeting and killing other human beings, we obviously have crossed a moral line that we've never crossed before.
Issues in terms of how this will transform warfare, the kinds of arms races that will emerge, the potential for destabilizing international relations both globally and regionally, and it becomes much easier to avoid accountability and responsibility for the results of these, the use of these systems.
They're all working on weapons that potentially could cede the human role in selecting targets and in engaging force over to machines, and that's something that concerns us from the point of view of protecting civilians, but you have to take a step back and look at humanity as a whole. We are talking about future weapons. Drones by themselves are okay. If they're armed, that's problematic when you have no accountability or a lack of accountability.
There's also concerns about proportionality, where our military is amazingly well trained to assess a military objective and any possible collateral damage and make that very human judgment of whether or not the military target is and the possible damage it could do to civilians is proportional to the benefits. But we need more Canadians to talk about this issue, to debate whether or not we do want to delegate life and death decisions to machines, and if we do, how is that going to change warfare and how is that going to change our country?
We don't want to sleepwalk into a future where killer robots are the main element of any armed conflict, because we have no idea what that's going to mean. Canada and Canadians should be proud of the role they played in banning landmines, a very indiscriminate weapon that had caused a global crisis. That treaty that Canada led, which is widely known as the Ottawa Treaty, is one of the most successful treaties of our era. We need to learn the lesson from that treaty and not wait until we have a global crisis before we act. We can ban killer robots now, and we should.
We need to keep killer robots fiction.